support the kind of the TikTok move here. TikTok is dangerous, but again, the area where I'd call Trump out on this is like, yeah, okay, great. Now do it for Apple, do it for Facebook, do it for American companies that are doing, like, I mean, not as bad, but ridiculous, especially Facebook, gross privacy, overstepping of bounds, let's just say. They overstep their bounds a lot when it comes to privacy issues. And I think they should be held accountable for that just as much as TikTok does. And I think Trump is obviously not going to be the person to do that, but they should be. All right. Yeah, so a deal for TikTok, whose app featuring video clips has become wildly popular among young smartphone users, could give Microsoft, a company best known for databases and operating systems, control over the largest and most influential social networks in the country. And again, I don't really feel that great about handing TikTok over and all these young people's information over to Microsoft as well, because they're not even really much better of a company. Like they're just as kind of backwards, and they don't have very good privacy ethics standards either. So that's not very good. Microsoft is viewed as as your grandpa's company and is trying to change that, says Dan Ives, a managing director and analyst at Wedbush Securities. Microsoft goes from an uncool company to many under 25 as potentially hip as TikTok if they get this done. I will literally completely dispute that. Like, I think most teens are going to be able to separate TikTok from Microsoft. Like, it shouldn't be that hard because there are a lot of people who are like they know how the internet works. They know that TikTok and Microsoft are like they still associate Microsoft. They still associate Microsoft with like kind of the cloud systems, and really what I most kind of associated with is those kind of Surface Pro things. I always thought those were kind of cool, but I don't know. And the fact that they always have, really it's just through the commercials. The fact that they always have commercials about like inspiring stories and stuff like that they've done, and they've worked with their cloud computing service to do. But I don't know. The main thrust of this article essentially seems to be that TikTok will make Microsoft cooler, and no, TikTok does not. I don't think it's gonna have that effect to Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft owns TikTok, but yeah, it's still Microsoft and does a bunch of other crap as well. Under Nadella, who became the chief executive in 2014, Microsoft has turned the company into a giant cloud of computing. A giant of cloud computing. It has a market value of $1.5 trillion and more than $130 billion in cash. But Microsoft has not had a clear path to serving young customers beyond its video gaming business. The company behind Xbox video game console, very popular among teens. Our household owns one. The household next door owns one. Like, probably many households on the street, if they have kids, most likely would have an Xbox that I'm on the street that I'm on right now. And it's a very ubiquitous consoles to buy. I think regardless of really socioeconomic status, it's not a crazy thing. Maybe in the poorest of areas you don't have Xboxes, but a lot of places, middle class, lower middle class people are getting their kids Xboxes because it is such a powerful thing to have. And so many kids, a lot of kids that I know, spend a lot of time on them. Like, there is a cool culture around it that really does go past the young age. So yeah, here's what they're saying is the company is behind the Xbox video game console, and also they own Minecraft, which is huge. As social media grew into enormous consumer businesses, Facebook alone is worth just $720 billion. Microsoft kind of largely missed out on the social networking side of things, although Microsoft buying Minecraft and Xbox is huge in terms of especially like influence with younger boys. In 2014, it brought the Swedish company that created Minecraft for $2.5 billion. In 2016, it acquired LinkedIn, the professional social network, which again is probably the lamest of the social networks. In 2018, Microsoft got GitHub for $7.5 billion. If history is a guide, teens and tweens may not need to worry about that Microsoft will mess up the product they love. With those recent acquisitions, Microsoft increased the financial and tech resources at the company, but largely let them run independently. Yeah, I haven't really noticed any kind of changes in Xbox or Microsoft with those acquisitions. But still, Christopher Wandsroth, the founder of GitHub, discussed the deal in a call with investors when it was announced. after he said the way Microsoft handled Minecraft and LinkedIn showed him how serious they are about growing new businesses while maintaining their independence and identity. Analysts say that the patient approach has been successful. Until the coronavirus pandemic, LinkedIn has been growing faster under Microsoft's ownership than before it was acquired. TikTok, with its fun kind of artificial intelligence tools, again, that insane algorithm that it has as well, and more than, again, 100 million users in the United States. Pretty much everybody I know has a TikTok account. Like everybody in my family, my mom, like she buys it to like make sure that everything we're watching is appropriate. Like it's a whole thing. It's huge, absolutely huge. It probably would likely fit that pattern. I think TikTok, like the way it's going now, does not need much change. Like you don't want to, if it's broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And TikTok certainly is not broke in any sense of the word. The deal being discussed involves TikTok purchasing TikTok offices in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, will continue to own the social media app's offices in Beijing. Microsoft also offers something giant tech rivals cannot: peace in Washington. Amazon, Facebook, Google. They have all had to tread careful amid antitrust scrutiny. Making a blockbuster deal with an obvious political baggage would be probably unappealing. Other than its gaming business, Microsoft is mainly in kind of the business market, staying under the radar from kind of big splashy news stories. And it has strategically navigated Mr. Trump's Washington. While the company has criticized some of the president's policies, such as immigration restrictions, it won a high-profile $10 billion contract to help provide cloud computing to the Pentagon, which I'm sure they use it for pretty awesome stuff. Like they use the cloud computing for just such cool stuff. Like great things Pentagon does. Amazon's contesting the award, which it said was politically motivated. Microsoft had gingerly tried to court China for more than a decade with only modest success. Its search engine Bing, which is again a joke among most people, as I'm sure anyone listening to this knows, was one of the last remaining portals to the global internet, in parts because services directed users in China to state media accounts on disputed topics like the Dalai Lama. Even so, Bing was taken down briefly last year. While Microsoft Windows and Office are common in China, they are largely pirated copies. The company accounts for less than 2% of Microsoft's revenue. And again, Microsoft, I think also kids, a lot of like Gen Zers would associate Microsoft with like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and like the Microsoft suite of offices, like Office suites, things, whatever it's called, that they, like people use for school. Like much of my years were spent on like writing on Microsoft Word, making a Microsoft PowerPoint on that. Now it's pretty much Google Drive. But on Sunday evening, news of the continuing talks quickly garnered praise from Republican lawmakers. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who spoke with Microsoft officials a few times about the deal, tweeted that the talks between TikTok and Microsoft are a win-win in the making. And Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, said it would protect Americans' data, increase competition, and create a secure platform, for millions of users, which is probably pretty true. Yeah. Ives, the analyst, said there is a window in the clouds that just opened up, and they have to fly right through. And if they can, it could redound to their benefit, because it is, and I think it's proven to be a big thing in terms of kids. Kids really like it. That's a secret about TikTok. Kids really like it. So that is pretty much all we got for you today. If you want to check out YouTube, I highly encourage you to do that. We will be posting YouTube videos almost every day this week, except for I think days when we have this show on the air, because they're very, very easy to do. So if you like that, please do. Continue, subscribe, rate and review us. That's pretty much it. See you soon.